It's time to taste the magic of French cuisine and cook with the experts in Colorado Springs.
Oh, that's right. Right now, Sarah live and local at the French Kitchen showing us popular recipes that you can mix up at home. Sarah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Craig and Abby. We are joined right now by Chef Janin Bourgeois. We're making French onion soup today. We're so excited. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do here at the French Kitchen.
I get the pleasure of being the culinary instructor. I teach all of the savory classes. I leave the sweets to the sweets. I get to be the salty.
I like the salt. I'm salty too.
I'm picking that up. I love that.
We got this.
But no, I teach quite a few classes here at the French Kitchen. Been here about a year and a half. Prior to this, I was actually in the Loire Valley of France, where I was teaching culinary there. But I've got a background in butchery, and I've owned my own restaurant. So, but truly teaching, especially the community here, teaching has been the jive. That's what
and you've already taught me a few things this morning, especially what did you say? How I held the knife?
Yeah, a little bit like Michael Myers, right? She's quite aggressive with her hold, but it's okay. We're going to talk about that today while we're chopping these beautiful onions and we're making this luscious French onion soup for this cold weather.
I am so excited. And what's really cool is that you guys have one of these classes coming up in February.
We do. Our soups classes we only do during the winter months. Crazy enough, right? Maybe I'll do a gazpacho class in the summer. We'll see. But for our winter classes, our French onion soup is quite essential. And we've got a few twists. Right? We make it our own.
Okay.
Of course, using our fresh baked baguettes, which we'll see in a little bit as well.
Of course, and I can smell them already baking, and I am so excited to taste them.
Yeah, like I said, it's my bakery perfume.
I mean, it's great. And what did you say when you go home? A lot of the dogs just tend to.
You know what I do? I live downtown, so I can't park too far from my house because all the neighborhood dogs follow me. Yeah. Right? I think I'm charming, but really I think it's the food. I smell like fresh bread and onions.
I mean, that's perfect. What a great smell. And so all throughout the morning, you're going to teach us how to cut an onion without crying.
Ideally, you have such lovely eye makeup. I don't want to mess it up today. So, goals. Hashtag goals.
Thank you. Okay, hashtag goals. You are hashtag goals. This is great. We're so excited to get into here. Craig and Abby, Fox21 Morning News is hashtag goals as well. And you too are hashtag goals. Tossing it back to you.
I need to learn these kitchen skills.
I can't wait to cut the onion without crying.
Yeah,
this is great.
I know.
Hot tip coming our way.
Hot tip. Thank you. Thanks, ladies.
Well, time to roll out those cooking skills and try something new for dinner because today we are cooking with the experts.
So right now, Sarah live and local at the French Kitchen making something which your family guaranteed to love. I do. We need to get you on board. Sarah, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Craig and Abby. It is time to cut the onions, and we have some tips for you so you can save your eye makeup and you don't have to cry. Craig, I know you have a lot of eye makeup on,
I do.
so especially for you.
Yes, thank you.
And Chef Janin Bourgeois, thank you once again.
Of course.
So talk a little bit about, so the main thing is you want to hold the knife correctly.
Well, I mean, it's going to save you in a lot of ways. Not just your makeup, because you might cry, because if you're holding your knife the wrong way, potentially you're harming yourself, right?
Right.
Carpal tunnel's a real thing. You don't want it.
No.
Right? So you want to show them your Michael Myers holding it?
Yeah, so I was holding it like this, and I showed you I kind of do it like that, but that is not correct.
Well, what happens is you see how much movement is in your wrist?
Yes.
Wrists aren't made to do all of that. Like they're not that strong.
Right.
So if instead you take your pincher fingers and actually pinch the base of the knife like this, wrap your fingers around, you see how your wrist locks, and now all of a sudden, you see how fast you can go?
The techniques.
Right, the techniques. It's so much faster. You could cut this whole tray of onions in a matter of minutes. Even you, Sarah, I believe in you. You could do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, you can show me the tips. So what is best to cut an onion to make sure you don't start crying?
Well, there is the one biggest tip. Actually, I have two. Don't trust TikTok. Haters, I'm sorry, I'm not a hater, but don't trust TikTok.
No.
There are some weird things out there. Goggles, sure. I mean, you're basically sealing the eyes as much as you can, but they tend to steam up, right?
Yeah.
A sharp knife, that's the key, right? A sharp knife cuts the onion. A dull knife crushes the onion. All those fancy little enzymes pop up, go to the closest water source, which is most likely your eyeballs, and then you start crying. Right, so sharp knives are the way to go.
All right.
But do you want to know the quickest, easiest way to cut up all of these onions?
Yes.
Okay. So you're always, every onion, every single one will have your root end and this dry little hairy end. Okay. And whenever you're chopping with anything that's roly-poly, might escape you as your, sharp knife, soft flesh, you want the first cut to be a stabilizing cut. So on an onion, we'll cut off that top part, just like this. Now, the onion sits still. From here, if we cut it in half, through the root. What's the biggest pain with onions other than crying? Right?
The smell.
Well, I told you it's my perfume half the time, so I don't hate it. I really hope other people don't hate it. But peeling the onions, right? All of those little papery things that you're sitting there trying to pick at. Look how easy and quick that was.
So you don't need to cut off the other side.
No. So, yes, if you cut the onion in half through the root, now the root holds on to everything. You've peeled the paper, super easy. Now, if you're going to do those lovely slices for your French onion soup, remember we were talking, not too big, not too small, because French onion soup takes a while.
Right.
And if they're too thin, then they're going to dissipate, and then it's just going to be soup.
Okay.
So you want French onion soup. So you're going to cut them, taking your root, keeping it, if you're right-handed, of course, left, you just backwards. Keeping your root to the left.
Okay.
And then you just make these subtle slices straight down this way. You get all of those perfect little onions for your French onion soup. And if you keep the root attached, just like this, you have something to hold on to as you get to those last little bits.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Chef. We appreciate you, and we're going to continue cutting more onions because, of course, we need lots of onions today. And Craig and Abby, I'm learning so much. Usually when I cut the onion, I cut off both sides before I start cutting.
Oh.
And look how lovely your eye makeup's still intact.
Yes. I do the stabilizing cut, but I love the tip with the knife, the sharp knife.
Yeah, that's huge. And I got to remember to bend the fingers.
Don't bend. Yeah.
Gotta keep those safe.
Don't bend the finger.
Don't cut your fingers off. Yeah.
Thanks, thanks, Sarah.
We have no idea what we're doing. Yeah, that's okay.
It's time to taste the magic of French cuisine and cook with the experts in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, so right now, Sarah live and local at the French Kitchen, showing us now popular recipes that you can mix up and you can make at home. Sarah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Craig and Abby. So, what do you think the biggest tip is for caramelizing onions?
Keep stirring.
Craig, you have a guess?
What's the question?
The best way to caramelize
What do you think
onions.
the biggest tip is for caramelizing
To
onions?
caramelize, well, you need some sugar, right? To caramelize it?
Okay, so it's butter. You use lots of butter.
Butter.
And
Butter.
You butter like a French person.
butter like a French person. All right.
Tap into your inner French.
Like butter.
And they said, yeah, like butter. They said stirring and adding sugar, which you said we don't want to do.
No
Please
sugar?
come visit us at the French Kitchen.
No sugar?
No, I love, there's no judgment. No judgment. But I do actually get that question quite a bit. Caramelized onions actually have no sugar in them. Onions are so sweet. They're naturally full of sugar. So we don't need to add sugar to it. In fact, we were kind of playing with a recipe. I think we created a beautiful new crostini. We'll talk later.
Oh.
But with candied onions, we don't need that. Really, it's a lower heat, right? Don't rush it. It's a cathartic moment of just, second tip is don't overstir.
Okay.
Right?
And so that's important because that's something that I have a tendency to do, especially when I'm cooking, is I continually I have to keep stirring and adding salt and pepper, which is not good.
Well, see, here's the thing, what happens.
Okay.
Pepper's great. We're going to add pepper later on. You can add pepper pretty much at any time during the cooking process and still get that lovely flavor. But for salt, if you add salt to the onions at this point, they're going to start leaching out all of their internal liquid, and then you're going to end up boiling your onions as opposed to caramelizing them.
Okay. See, and you said that you had a few customers come in that did classes with you, and what are some of the questions they've asked?
No, truly, is there sugar in caramelized onions?
Yes.
Because people are trying to cut back, right? With January, it's healthy versions. No, there's no sugar. That I think is the craziest one. One thing that people don't always know is beef stock is sort of the staple. We don't use beef stock here. We use chicken stock.
Chicken stock?
In fact, the chicken stock that we make from our chicken expert class that we have here at the French Kitchen. So during that chicken expert class, we cut up whole chickens and then use the carcasses, and then we use all the cut vegetables from our knife skills class, and then I make just giant stock pots of stock, and then that goes into our soups as well. So reutilizing things that maybe you didn't before.
Great stuff. Hey, great tips. Thank you once again. We appreciate you.
And I promise no judgment.
No judgment, guys. Matt, the smells. Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. I wish you guys were here, but for now, we'll toss it back to you in studio.
Bergie, is it going to take 4 hours to make this soup? I want to eat the soup. I'm ready. Bring some back.
Time to roll out those cooking skills and try something new for dinner because today we are cooking with the experts.
So right now, Sarah live and local at the French Kitchen, mixing up a classic soup that your family will love. Sarah, I can already taste it. It looks so good. Good morning.
Aggressive. Yes, like Chef Janin just said, I'm holding the knife less aggressive now. I've learned some tips this morning. Still might be a little scary for those of you watching at home. Craig and Abby, maybe you too. We are going to show you a stock now and talk about what you want to put in there. You also want to save the peelings.
Yes. You know why? It gives so much more color to your stocks and your soups. So a nice chicken stock or bone broth, right? You hear that. It's very popular nowadays. Bone broth, I like to actually take my bones and roast them in the oven first, crack them open a little bit, getting all of that beautiful collagen that's inside, right? That marrow to seep into it. But also, like I said, saving these peels, onion peels are great for color, and it imparts the onions. But really, a great stock is made out of things that would normally be thrown away. You feel good about Mother Earth, you feel good about what you're doing, but if you don't cook as often as I do, right, or you do, you're a very avid
I love
cooker.
cooking. I love cooking, especially after like a stressful day. I love to go home and just buy a bunch of ingredients and put something together.
It's catharsis, and it can be. But whenever you are chopping your vegetables, you have a little extra garlic, right, the peels and ends of carrots and other vegetables, what I'll do is I'll actually take them, stick them in a Ziploc bag, and throw them in my freezer. And when I have enough, or I've roasted off a chicken, and then I have those bones available, that's what I use to make my stock. Now here at the French Kitchen, we have a lot of we have a lot of classes that incorporate some of my previous butchery experience, and one of them that I love, we're actually having it this Wednesday, is a chicken expert class. And in that chicken expert class, we actually, today's Wednesday, by the way, I have it today.
I forgot what day it was.
I did too.
All the smells this morning, I've just forgot everything. So I'm right there with you.
Well, I'm a chef. I'm a night owl, so that's my excuse. Yeah. But we, every student starts with a whole chicken, and I show you how to break it down, how to spatchcock, remove its spine, break it down into its primal pieces, and we actually cook in class. For instance, the legs, we make a Jamaican jerk chicken rub with pineapple rice. We do chicken and dumplings. I'm from South Carolina. We got it.
You got a little accent there.
A white bean chicken chili, right, with some hatches thrown in.
Love it.
So we utilize the pieces of meat, but all of those bones, nothing gets thrown away. So we actually use those bones. And then tomorrow I have a knife skills class where I show you all the chopping techniques, and we take all of the vegetable cuts from that. And then I come in with the giant industrial pots to make giant things of stock so that everything is, nothing goes to waste.
Thank you so much. Learning so much this morning. Craig and Abby, like I said, the smells this morning are delicious. We're finishing up those caramelized onions. We have the baguette here we're going to make croutons with, the stock. Oof, guys, we are excited.
Layers of flavor. Good, Matt. That's a good one. What those onions need, though, I think, is a pinch of sugar to put in there. Sprinkle in the sugar. Yeah, tell the chef.
No sugar.
A little sugar in there,
We're
right?
sweet enough.
Yeah. We're sweet enough,
We're
Craig.
sweet
You might need a little bit of sugar.
Oh, they are so sweet. That's good
Thanks,
stuff.
Sarah.
Looks good, though, right?
It does, yeah.
Good stuff. All right, thank you.
It is time to taste the magic of French cuisine and cook with the experts in Colorado Springs.
Taste the magic. Yes, right now, Sarah, live and local at the French Kitchen with a delicious dish you can make at home tonight. It could be for dinner tonight.
This is the best part, though, the bread.
Yes, Sarah.
That's what I'm talking
This
about.
has already been my... Good morning. This has already been my dinner throughout the day, and I'm just going to keep on munching on everything because it smells delicious. And you guys, in true French style, you're using baguettes to make the croutons.
Okay.
Chef Janin is going to show us how, and tell us a little bit about the baguette and what you guys put on it.
Well, of course, I mean, the smell is permeated. We make them from scratch every day. We're open Monday through Saturday, so most days you can get your fresh baguette, just like a true French person. But what you're doing, you're using the right knife. That's a great start, using a bread knife, a serrated. That's why you keep from crushing that beautiful baguette. As I crushed it a little bit. This wasn't planned at all. But then too, I mean, of course, there's so much butter in that pan.
Yes.
I will sometimes use the butter, the remnant butter, as we've incorporated the onions into the soup. I use the remnant butter, but today I thought you deserve a little extra luxury.
Oh my goodness.
So we actually sell rendered duck fat.
Oh.
Right.
Yum.
So if you just want to slather a little bit,
Slather.
right there. And I mean, like I said, slather like a French person,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, you can
Get
never
in
have
there.
too much of this duck fat on there.
A little bit of duck fat, exactly. And then you're going to get a nice big heaping scoop of that gorgeous Gruyere. We sell that too.
You sell that too? And
We
so
do, pre-shredded.
how do you say Gruyere?
Gruyere.
Gruyere.
You have to say it with your lips.
Gruyere.
Gruyere. Right. But then, right, So French onion soup, right? Traditionally, you've seen the TV shows,
Yeah.
and you'll put them in the little crocs, and then you'll balance everything, and you'll throw a bunch of cheese on, and then try to put that under your broiler. You don't have to. In fact, make your croutons with your Gruyere.
Yes.
Make them to order.
Yum, look at that. Oh,
Right?
and I need to put more cheese on here.
Oh,
This is-
girlfriend, you
come
need
on.
way more cheese.
Come on, Sarah. We got to add
on,
all the
Sarah.
cheese on here. I love cheese.
In fact,
so-
you want a little magic of television?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a
Look at
Chef Janin
those.
version of cheese.
I
Even
love
those
it.
crunchy, gooey bits.
And so a lot of times people will put the cheese on last over, and I feel like we were talking earlier, it can get kind of chunky, but if you have these to put on top, it's just great.
We'll see. That'll be our next segment. Is we'll
Love
talk
it.
about how to put it all together, make it all pretty.
I'm so excited. All right, thank you so much, Chef. We appreciate it. Craig, we are going to toss it back to you. Gruyere is what it's called.
Fancy, fancy, right? Okay, good stuff right there. That's good.
Soup, soup-de-doop, soup-de-doop, soup-de-doop-de-doop-de-doop. We're making French onion soup today. The
We are.
most important part is the garnish.
We have the garnishment.
Salt Peppa.
And you know what? We haven't been sipping on the wine yet.
No.
but
None of that.
we're just having way too much fun. But we did realize that at this point, you're going to want to both salt and pepper.
We'll show you more after this.
Hey, time to roll out those cooking skills and try something new for dinner because today we've been cooking with the experts.
So right now, Sarah, live and local at the French Kitchen. She's been teasing us all morning long, making this French onion soup. We think it's almost done. Sarah, good morning.
Yes. Good morning, Craig and Abby. Yes, this is definitely something that will take you a long part of your day, but it is worth it because we are about to plate it in the cutest little crock pots ever, joined right now by Chef Janin. Thank you so much again.
Oh, of course. We're having such a great time.
We're
I was just
having
saying
a
I'm
lot of
sad
fun.
this is almost over.
I know. We got to have you back on.
Thank you. So far we talked about chopping onions, right?
Yes.
Not holding your knife like a serial killer, but also caramelizing onions. And having absolutely no need for sugar. Right?
No
All
sugar.
you need is patience and lots of butter.
And so what's really fun is these little baguettes with the cheese on
Well,
top.
of course. Well, rather than try to maneuver these crocks in and out of the oven, instead, we're just going to take these glorious pieces of goodness, just like that.
Ooh.
Oh, and look what happens to happen with this crispy Gruyere, right?
The best.
It's the garnishment,
The garnish.
as they talk about in Francais. Now, of course, you want to add anything, anytime I add anything cooked, I'd like to add just a little sprig of freshness, right? So pull some of these parsley leaves just for some color and contrast. And you'd actually mentioned to me, we made our own stock based on things that we had made in some of our cooking classes, like our chicken expert class, right? We have the bones from the chicken expert and the vegetables from our knife skills class to make our stock. But if you don't, we actually sell the roasted chicken better than bouillon. Quick little fix. You can get this done in less than 2 hours.
How did you say it during the break?
Oh, the better than bouillon.
The better than bouillon.
The better than bouillon. My boss, my wonderful boss, is not here to correct my French accent. If she was, then I'd be saying bonjour, y'all.
Yeah, bonjour,
Just to drive her
y'all.
crazy. But I mean, how perfect, right? You
This
don't
is
have to
great.
try to maneuver these crocks, which you can buy here, in and out of the oven. You just top these glorious baguettes that we made fresh this morning with some Gruyere cheese,
Gruyere.
right? And garnish with a little fresh herbs.
I love it. And so if people want to come down, you guys have classes, which we're going to talk about more at 8:40. And you are so much fun. Seriously,
Thank you.
You have been so much fun. She makes the classes really fun. And the techniques, you learn new techniques that, like the knife.
Yes.
With me, I need to learn.
Right? So much less aggressive from
Less
here moving forward.
Thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you.
All right, Abby, I'm sorry you're not here to smell this or taste this, but I got to dive in, so I'm going to toss it back to you.
Wow, that looks amazing. Thanks, Sarah. It is time to taste the magic of French cuisine and cook with the experts in Colorado Springs.
So right now, Sarah is live. Live and local at the French Kitchen right now, showing us more about all the stuff you can mix up at home. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning, Craig and
Yes.
Abby. So now, at the end of the segment, it is finally time to taste the soup. Like Sean was saying, it may be lost on the way back to the station. Who ate it? We don't know. It's a toss-up. We'll never know. So we're going to talk to Chef Janet now, and we're going to talk a little bit about your classes because people can come down all ages and make something like this.
They are. In fact, people are starting to arrive right now. As a matter of fact, right before this segment, we have a class, French 101, coming in at 9 a.m. It's one of our new classes for 2022. We have such a range of classes, everything from puff pastry to Moroccan. I have Moroccan later this week, where we tackle dishes from all over the world. Really, we get our inspiration from you guys, right? From our customers, from our community. Anything that you want to learn, we really, really want to teach. And so we get to share just that way.
I love it. And so what's really cool is all of your recipes are original.
Yes. Yes, we try to make them all our own. You know, we have decades.
Yeah.
we don't always admit how many, but we have decades of experience, and just love. That's where the French Kitchen started almost 10 years ago this year. Our owner Blondine started in her home because her community, right, her neighbors, her friends, really wanted to learn these beautiful quintessential French dishes. And 10 years later, we're thriving in this community and loving every second of it.
And look at how cute this little setup is. You have all the different little scales here. They're different colors, and what is really cool too is that you guys have a system that you use to help people with the recipes.
Yes, in fact, because we're both French and we're a bakery, so everything is scaled by weight. So you're going to learn a lot more accuracy in your recipes. So you're going to get more consistent results. It also cuts down on dishes significantly.
We love that.
That's a good tip.
Who doesn't want more dishes?
Less, yeah.
Less dishes. I do not want more dishes.
I don't want more dishes.
Sean's laughing. Okay, so we are so excited to finally taste this French onion soup, but for people that maybe want to come down and try one of your classes, for the French onion soup, you have one in February.
We do. We have soups classes. We only do them in the winter, so our rotating schedule of classes, they change from week to week. So if you check out tfkcc.com, the last tab on there is our class calendar, and it has live availability, so you know how many people you can bring with you, you know how busy the class is going to be, how long it's going to be, and we even tell you what we're baking.
So real quickly, before I bite into this, the little baguette that's been soaking in the French onion, what's on top of this?
Little Gruyere cheese.
Right. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Craig and Abby, I'm sorry, but I gotta try it.
I love French onion soup. Look at that.
Jealous.
Oh my gosh.
The crunch.
Is that good or what?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, Sarah almost fell over. So good. There she goes.
The happy dance. There you go. Thanks, Sarah. Chef's doing it too. Love it.
All right.
Oh, that looks fun.